Morning everyone, welcome to Tuesday's devotional. This morning I want to take you back to the book of Genesis, and we're going to be looking at Genesis chapter 6 and particularly at verse number 12. The verse says, "And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth." The next verse goes on to say, God speaking, "And behold, I will destroy them with the earth." The Lord looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. We don't know exactly how long after creation and the fall this took place, but God looked in the days of Noah, and he saw that the earth was corrupt all over. In fact, it goes on to say that the thoughts and intentions of man's heart were only evil continually. And God sent a judgment upon the earth, and that judgment, as we know, was the flood. And in the midst of judgment there was grace. Noah and his family were saved. But God sent judgment as a punishment for man's sin. And throughout the Old Testament we see God at different times sending judgments upon the earth on account of sin. We see it in the plagues in Egypt. We see it in God sending disease and plague and famine upon his people. Whenever sin is rampaging throughout the land, God sometimes, in his grace, sends judgment to bring people to their spiritual senses. In this case, in Noah's day, God completely destroyed the world and saved only a few. These judgments point forward to the ultimate judgment that one day God will send upon the world. In these days, when we're locked in our homes, people are wondering, is this pandemic a judgment from God? None of us can answer that definitively. What we can say is that God looks upon the earth in these days, and there is absolutely no doubt that it is corrupt and there is much wickedness. The pandemic that is afflicting us at this time is not something that is outside of God's control. It is not something that he has nothing to do with. In the Old Testament prophets we read, "Is there evil in the city? And I have not done it." So yes, it's possible that this is a way by which God is punishing this world in which we live. It has either been permitted by God, or it has been directly sent by God. One thing is for sure, it reminds us, the people of God, that one day judgment is coming. It's coming upon the whole world, and it should cause us to make sure that since all these things are going to come about, as Peter tells us, what sort of people ought we to be in all manner of holiness. It also reminds us how fleeting this life is, and it causes us to give thanks for the fact that in Christ we will be among those who will be saved. God looked upon the earth, and it was corrupt. It is likewise corrupt today. May God grant us his mercy in these days. May God be with you throughout the rest of this day. God bless.